Hey everybody, JMS Technical here, and today I want to talk about my wallet. And I want to show you what I keep in my wallet because I think it's valuable to consider all of the different storage that you carry on your person as a potential place to maybe have a little bit of extra EDC gear that's helpful and potentially going to be useful to you day to day. So I want to show you a couple things that I carry on me in my wallet pretty much all the time. I refill the expendables pretty often, and I want to talk about why I carry these things as much as what I'm carrying. So that's what we're going to do this video. It's all going to be about my wallet and what's in it. And once again, just to remind you, the wallet that I'm carrying is the Maxpedition Spartan. And it's a $30 wallet. It's very, very well built. It's very durable. It's got a lot of pocket space, and I really recommend this wallet for people who want to carry a full-size folding wallet. There's also the Maxpedition Micro, much less space, but again a very durably built, strong, well-designed wallet. So if you don't mind the nylon wallet look, if you don't need a leather wallet, this isn't going to be the right wallet necessarily if you're an attorney. You might want something that looks a little more impressive to match, a watch that's equally impressive. But this is going to be a good wallet for most people in, trade professions, technical professions, things like that, where they're working with their hands a lot. So that's what we're going to be looking through today, the contents of this. And I'm going to take out, obviously, all the things that are individual to me, such as my IDs, my credit cards. So know that, obviously, those are all in there, and this is how thick it is. It's about, I want to say, 3/4 of an inch thick, which again, not everybody's going to have that fit comfortably in their pocket if they're wearing tight-fitting pants, for example. This is going to be a little big for them, but with the clothes that I wear, this is a comfortable wallet. So again, we're going through my EDC, which works for me. I'm not expecting this to work for everybody, and I'm not expecting everything that's in here to make sense to everybody else. But that's the whole idea of this, if you want to call it a game. That's the great thing about this game. You set it up to what's good for you. So that's the plan. I'll change the focus of the camera down to the table. I'm going to use the white table this time so we can see everything a little bit better, hopefully. And give me 1 second to change the focus of the camera. Alright, so once again, everybody, this is the Maxpedition Spartan wallet. And I've taken all my personal belongings out of here, so know that this has slimmed down considerably because I took out all of this. So that's the stuff I pulled out of my wallet, and what's left behind is all the things that have utilitarian. So what do I keep in here? Well, first thing that I want to mention that I carry now that I didn't used to carry, I do carry a little bit of cash, and I only carry $20 on me, and it's really all I've ever needed in, emergency situations. Some people talk about carrying $100 on you, and I don't disagree with that if that's practical for you. The only thing is, if you're going to carry $100, make sure you carry it in smaller bills, because so many places you go, again, with EDC, I don't think this is about, big emergencies. I think this is about, hey, I'm thirsty, I need a Coke. And if you walk in with a $100 bill to a convenience store, most places are going to turn you away. So 2 tens is really good. It tends to work out fine. I might also carry, a handful of 5s, but some cash, a small amount of cash, is a good idea. And I found that that's worked out for me consistently all the way through. The next thing on the wallet that I want to show everybody is I keep, you can see right here, 2 safety pins, and the way that I have these attached is where the sewing stitches are. The wallet has sort of an outer lining of nylon that's got a double row stitch, and I slide these in between the 2 stitches. I also did that with a fairly, I don't know if you can clearly see that or not, heavy-duty sewing needle that I pre-wrapped a bunch of black thread around. And this is, this is enough thread to re-sew on a button, or maybe even mend a small tear in a pair of pants. Most of the clothing I wear does tend to be black, so having a little bit of thread like this has proven very, very valuable. And again, it just slides really conveniently right into the lining here and stays concealed. The next thing is this straight pin, which actually now has a little bit of a curve in it. And I think this is what's called a turkey lacing needle. I'm not honestly sure. I found this randomly on the ground. And again, you can see it's just a straight needle with a big eye loop in it. And I've used this for a number of things. The little bit of a bend in it is because I needed to get a stuck memory card out from a computer one time. And I was able to bend this just enough to get it to hook the card and pull it straight out. So I've kept this on me ever since, but this is really good for pushing like reset buttons on modems or whatever else. And again, it is small. It's easily, held in there. It's never, busted through a seam and stabbed me in the hip or anything like that. And believe you me, if it did, I would probably stop carrying it immediately based on that. So I keep that in there, and it's actually being a little finicky trying to get back in, so I'll put that back in later. But I keep that on me. And then I also keep just a secondary heavy-duty pin needle right on this side, and I keep it there because it takes up the space nicely, and in case for whatever reason I lost the first needle. This one used to have thread on it. I actually used it recently, but it's the same exact idea. It's just a needle and thread, but it's a heavier duty needle. This is not the kind of needle you're going to find in a standard sewing kit. And that's just so I can sew things like, if I need to sew the nylon in my backpack up. If I got a tear in that, I could use it for that. A heavier duty needle, in my experience, doesn't hinder you from sewing necessarily all lighter weight materials. The pants I wear are still cotton. They're not that lightweight. So it works out really, really well. The next thing that I want to show everyone that I carry, this is the only that I can think of off the top of my head, genuinely survival-oriented piece of, or pair of equipment that I carry. And the first thing is this little tiny signal mirror. Now, yes, it's a signal mirror. It has a little hole in the center that you can use to sort of aim and, make sure you're flashing in the right direction. But it's also just a mirror. And a mirror is not a bad thing to have if you hurt yourself for first aid's sake or whatever else. And this is, a few sheets of paper thick. It's very highly reflective, as you can see. It's not, low reflectivity mirror. And it fits in this little case along with this little Fresnel credit card lens. And again, this is one of those things that I carry because it's so lightweight and easy to carry, and it's multifunctional. It does serve as a very effective magnifying glass, which is occasionally helpful if I have to look at really small parts like on a motherboard, as I am a computer technician. But of course it could also be used as a fire starter, and I have tried it and it does work. So those two things, they fit perfectly in this little slipcase, which goes right here in one of the credit card slots, and it lives there full time. It never really has needed to come out for any reason. The next thing that I carry on me, and again this is one of those things where it's amazing how often it's useful, is this very small Dermasafe safety razor. And this is a very small, this is the smallest folding knife and the cheapest folding knife I think that I carry most of the time, but it is also probably the sharpest. And again, when I need to do really, really fine cutting, this is the perfect tool. The edge that I keep on my cold steel knife is just too thick and too dull an edge. It's a great utility edge, but it's not a razor. This is a true razor, and it works brilliantly for very fine cutting tasks. And I have a handful of these, and every time I use one, and if I've dulled it, then I just replace it. They're very inexpensive, but I always have one in my wallet. Next thing is a little military style can opener, and this is kind of one of those, hey, if it did come down to, I was in an emergency situation, I wouldn't want to have to fight to try and open canned goods if I found canned goods. I certainly wouldn't want to take the edge off my knife to do it, so this is very small, ultra lightweight, fits really, really well in with the razor on the back of this pocket in the wallet. You know, the two of them just slip in very conveniently and easily. Call it a day. Simple. The last thing I want to show everybody is, well, actually the two last things I want to show everybody is the stuff I carry behind the main pocket of the wallet. And there's a surprising amount of stuff back here. As I'm looking at it, I'm going kind of, wow, I forgot I had all that. That's okay. You know, the fact of the matter is, better to have it and never need it than to need it and not have it. So all this stuff sits behind, and again, this is why my wallet's a little thicker than most people are going to be comfortable with, but it's a great thing. So the first thing I have here is a couple other sewing supplies. I tear my clothes up a lot, so sewing supplies became something I really worried about. And what I've got here is a couple different colors of thread. I have what's called a threader, or a needle threader, which is just a little tab that you can put through the eye of the needle to help you feed the string, and my hands kind of shake sometimes, so that makes it a little rough. This is some heavier duty string, or not string, this is actually Kevlar cordage, and I've also got a mortician's needle back here, or a heavy duty upholstery needle, a curved needle. And I keep the curved needle in case, God forbid, I ever had to actually stitch myself up, because a curved needle is going to be much easier to manipulate when you're trying to sew on yourself than a standard needle. So I keep those three in there, partially for first aid, partially for just, you know, clothing repair. The next thing I have is standard restaurant issue wet naps. And I love these things. I do a lot of work where my hands get really dirty. You open up a computer case, there's filth in there. I mean, just day-to-day life. Your hands get dirty a lot. And I don't necessarily want my dirty hands creating a problem for what I'm doing next. You know, I don't want to have to wipe my hands on my shirt or my pants. So I always carry wet naps with me. These things are absolutely fabulous to have. Next thing is Band-Aids. Pretty much enough said. You know, I cut myself, other people cut themselves. I want to have that so we're not, you know, getting blood everywhere. I have a couple of other hand wipes. Normally what is in here that you're not seeing right now is I also keep some alcohol pads. And I keep alcohol pads for the same reason that I keep the hand wipes, only they're going to be actually, you know, a disinfectant, a sterilization tool. So I don't have any of those in here right now, but normally I do. And then 4 of these butterfly strips. And I keep these because, you know, they're just so damn small. And if I got a deeper, bigger cut, I'd want some way of kind of gluing that shut a little bit. And between these and then the first aid supplies that I tend to carry in my backpack, or in my car for that matter, that's a really good thing. And then the last thing I have in here, which some people think is silly, but it really ticks me off when I go to a restaurant and I order an iced tea and they don't have sweet and low. So I carry a few of my own because I don't really like the other sugars. I don't really dig Equal or Splenda or Stevia. I like sweet and low. I know it's bad for me, but you know, it's the sweetener I prefer. So I carry that with me because, again, when I was going through my list at the end of my first month of being an EDCer, and I said, what do I wish I had? One of the things that came up repeatedly was, damn it, I wish I had some sweet and low on me. So I started carrying a few packets of sweet and low with me, and I just, you know, when I use them up, I replenish them, and that's great. But again, this is one of those things that it's surprising how often I use it, and that's why I have it, because I use it. The sewing stuff I use. I tear buttons off my clothes, they hook on things, whatever. I want to be able to keep my stuff in good repair, so I use that stuff. So everything that you see here in the wallet, and of course there's the cash, and again we've got the little credit card here. It makes a wallet that is not too thick for me. It might be too thick for some other people, but it means that, again, because my wallet is never away from me, this stuff is never away from me. I always have it. It's a resource. I can always count on being there. So that's hugely valuable to me. Hopefully this has given you guys some ideas for maybe stuff you can put in your wallet. And again, maybe you only put one wet nap. Maybe you only put one Band-Aid. Maybe you have, you know, more cash, whatever. That's not really the critical detail. The critical detail is, what is it going to take to make sure that you are always covered. So that's the video for today with my everyday carry analysis. And again, I hope these videos are helpful to you guys. I hope they're instructional, but more than anything, I hope they inspire you to come up with what's going to work for you. So thank you very much. I'm not going to bother cutting the camera back up to my face because you don't need to see me. I'm just going to say thank you very much for your time, and I hope you all have a great day.